Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Not Another Mom podcast. It's time to take that mom hat off because this is after hours and I'm making you off the clock. This podcast is here to help you know your worth because damn girl, you're a goddess who deserves to live the life of your dreams. I'm your host, Leslie Sprague, and we talk everything from manifesting to motherhood. Yes, those little monkeys will still creep in here or there. Spirituality to girl talk with your besties, and from business to finding that balance in life. I'm here to remind you that you are worth it. Life gets to be easy for you, and your dreams really can come true. So grab your favorite glass of wine, craft beer, or if you're a whiskey and diet kind of girl, grab that and let's get this show on the road. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Not Just Another Mom podcast. I am your host, Leslie, and I am so grateful that you are here with me this week. I was thinking a little bit about what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And I'm like, you know what? We've been kind of doing a little bit of, the podcast felt a little stuffy to me. We've been a little bit focused on serious energy work. And I want this episode to be a little bit more fun. So we're kind of going off of our normal routine here. We're not talking about anything specific, but I want to talk to you guys a little. We might pull in a tarot card reading. We'll see. But I want to talk to you guys actually about my daughter, which actually kind of leads back to energetics as well. So on the weekend, my daughter was complaining a little bit about having a headache. And we were kind of teasing her a little bit because we were packing. And with packing comes like tidying and cleaning. And we joke that she loves to like have a messy room. So whenever we mention the word tidy to her, she loses her ever-loving shit and blows a gasket. So it was kind of a running joke, but as we were getting ready for bed, so my daughter is 9. As we were getting ready for bed, I have this EMF necklace, protection necklace that I wear. I don't wear it every day, but I do when I'm called, I do put it on. And what she was saying, or she goes, "Mom, what is this necklace for?" Because I think I vaguely explained to her that, it's for your energy and things like that. So I explained it to her, and I wish you could see my hands right now. But if you imagine like your energy, this is what I said to her. If you imagine like everybody and everything has energy, humans, their energetic wavelength that goes out into the universe and like what we interact with, it is like a smooth sort of rolling hill sort type of wave. So it's a rounded wave at the top, rounded at the bottom, and then it just keeps going out like that. And I said, however, certain things in our environment now, hydro wires, your appliances can even have it too. Definitely your router, your cell phone, those types of things give off another type of energy, and it's called an electromagnetic frequency. It's a different type of energy. So I said to her, and I was showing her, I wish you could see my hands again. I was showing her that these wavelengths actually kind of, if you picture like a lightning bolt, how they're very, it would go up to a point, down to a point, up to a point, down to a point. So it's a much harsher wave than a human's energetic wave. So I said, when those things come together, I said, do you think that those are going to mesh well together? And she goes, no. And it wasn't until the next day that it dawned on me. My daughter was actually tuning into her own energetic frequency because she said, I wonder if that's why I was having a headache all day. Because she goes, because I've been watching TV a little bit more. I wouldn't say it was necessarily more than she usually watches it, but she goes, because I was watching TV. And I said, yeah, that very well could be. So the next day, I actually went and got her own necklace. And so the day after that, she wears it to school. And she says, I don't know if this is, she noticed the difference in her energetic blueprint. And as a mom, she said, I actually feel a little bit better in my energy. She said she felt a little bit happier. And like, if you Google electromagnetic frequency, it can give you a list of the quote unquote symptoms that you can get from these. While I was at the store, I actually recently picked up a home unit for the new house, and it will actually go on our electrical box to like send through the electrical lines of the house. So I am super excited for that. Speaking of the new house, we are getting ready to move. We are moving in this coming weekend, this Saturday, depending on when you're listening to it. So we are so excited. Our house is a little bit in chaos right now. We have so much crap everywhere, and I am not like a neat person. I like things to be neat, but quite often I'm usually like a big part of the mess. So it can be a struggle for me. And I find when I'm doing things like packing like this, it creates even more chaos than what I had before. So we're kind of living in a little bit of chaos, and as you know, that can like greatly affect your energy. I can't wait to get unpacked and moved and all that stuff so that we can just like get back to our normal routine. One of the things I am thoroughly enjoying about moving, however, is that I get to go through and purge. I'm trying to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say ruthless, but kind of ruthless when it comes to our packing. And I'll do it again once we move in too, because when we go through our stuff and get rid of the crap we don't want anymore, energetically, we're opening ourselves up to create more space for the things we want in our life. So I am super stoked. And it's gonna, like, it feels chaotic right now. I get that, but it is going to feel so good on the other end. And my daughter, she's a bit of a hoarder, I call her. She likes to keep absolutely everything. And she doesn't like to give up any of her clothes if somebody gave it to her, because she doesn't want to offend the person that she gave it to. So she's such a sweetheart in that way. And I said, but honey, like, if it came from me, I would rather you like it. So get rid of it so we can get you something else. And she's 9. So she's really starting to like blossom into her own and loving her own fashion sense and design style. And so she had this one shirt that she got for Christmas, and it said hockey girl on it, and it was just too small, and she was so upset to give it up. And I'm like, honey, it doesn't fit. And she's like, but my cousin has the same one. And like, she felt that connection to him because they had the same shirt, and I'm like, dude, we just got to let it go. And I tried explaining to her that, when you let go of these things, you get to call in more of what you want. Like, you get to pick new clothes or things like that. So she finally relented on that. But I want to share with you guys about the house a little bit. So we have been looking for a house for probably 4 years. And I know I've talked about like selling the house in a previous podcast. So just a reminder, or if you're new to the podcast, in July or the spring, I guess, of 2020, we decided to roll the dice and sell our house because I knew that something would come up for us. And manifesting our dream house was one of the biggest hurdles for me, because I was so attached to the results that were to the results of manifesting this house. So I was creating so much pressure on the situation that I just wasn't getting anywhere. And so finally, when I was able to take a step back and just let it go, our dream house came to us. And it was interesting because this house in particular, with any other house that we'd looked at before this, came from a place of a more hopeful energy. Oh, wouldn't it just be so nice if everything came together and it all fell as planned perfectly? That has a little bit of a desperate energy with it. And with this house, I noticed there was a huge shift in my energy when I talked about it, because deep down, I knew that this was a done deal. As soon as we walked through the house, it felt like home. And I knew that no matter what obstacles, if any, we were going to come up, which we did come up against a few, I knew that it was all going to work out. And the day is here and I can't wait. One of the best things that I am so excited to have in my new office is a door, because right now I am just like tucked in I have my own space, but there is no door. So if anybody walks in or the kids are home, I don't have my privacy. And especially when I'm recording podcasts, I want quiet. If I'm working with clients, I need the privacy. So something as simple as a door to my office is one of the biggest things that I am looking forward to. You guys will have to check in next week on my Instagram stories. I will be sure to be doing like some tours and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So let's dive in. I think that's all the things that like I kind of wanted to update you on. But let's dive in and do a quick tarot card reading, because you know what? Let's see what 2020 has in store. We are coming to the end of a month and moving on to a new one. We are emerging from retrograde. And, let's talk about Mercury retrograde for a second. So before Mercury retrograde, I would blame anything that happened. On Mercury retrograde. Sorry, I had two thoughts coming out of my mouth at the same time. But I would blame things on Mercury retrograde when it came into effect. And more and more, I've begun to take a different perspective on it. And you know what? Mercury retrograde doesn't have to weigh you down like it's sometimes perceived in the social or the internet world. Mercury retrograde gets to be as good of a time as any, but as we emerge from it, let's see what kind of gems we can uncover. Okay, so I am actually being called to talk to you to not use my tarot card deck, and I'm being called to pull out my Work Your Light Oracle card deck. When I say things like I'm being called, let's talk about that for a second, because quite often we think about like the voices that we hear in our head, and my intuition actually is quite strong. So when I went to reach for my tarot card deck, it was as simple to me as it sounded, like as hearing a voice that says, no, you need your Work Your Light Oracle card deck. So that's what I mean when I'm being called. It's listening and trusting those voices that we can hear sometimes inside our head. So in case you ever have an experience like that, that this is sort of what we go through. So I haven't actually used this deck in a little bit, so I'm actually quite excited, and it's actually very coming through very strong that I only need to pull one card for you guys. So this isn't a huge spread for you guys. So I'm just shuffling the deck. This card is actually as beautiful as my tarot card deck. Like the artwork and everything on it is absolutely incredible. Okay, let me just get focused here. And the intention that I'm going to set for this oracle card reading is, what message do we need to hear the most in this moment? For everybody who's listening to this episode, for everybody who's going to listen to it in the future, what message do they need to hear the most in that moment? Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, so this card is called Awakening. This is, it says Awakening Energetic Upgrades, which I don't know if you guys have felt this, but I have felt a huge shift. No matter what's going on in social media or the news or everywhere else, there is something happening. And I can feel it. I personally feel like a completely different person since January. And I know it's a result of the work I've been doing, but there has been a completely different shift. So energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Maybe that's why this Mercury retrograde is here with us right now, for that integration. Okay, so I am just going to find I always love to read what is going on, or what's in the like little book that comes with it. So, okay, Awakening card. Here's what we got. You're going through a period of awakening. Things are changing with you, and at many levels. I can feel that too. You are starting to remember ancient truths and discovering more and more about who you are and why you are incarnated. That is powerful stuff, you guys. You may find that you are experiencing past life flashbacks. I haven't felt that this year, but honestly, you guys, I have felt that in the past several months for sure. Seeing the invisible thread that is woven through all of life, or even feeling Kundalini Shakti rise through your body from the base of your spine. So, Kundalini Shakti is like energy, Kundalini energy coming up through the base of your spine. The most important thing for this time is not to overthink it and to stay grounded. Share your experiences with like soul people while you consciously integrate them. Journal and pay attention to your dreams. You are remembering, and your soul gifts are emerging. I know this is true. Like, there are so many people, even in the last 3 weeks, that are beginning to remember their soul gifts. And I have seen this happen and seen this start to emerge. And I am so fucking excited and here for it. During this time of transition and awakening, you may be called to devote yourself to being of service. There are ideas, truths, concepts, books, and creation waiting to be birthed into this world. Stay open to receiving them. Pulling this card may be a sign that you are here to birth one of these creations into this world. So this message is for you if you have been thinking about creating something. Now is your time to do it. Or perhaps you are being called to make a shift in your life in order to be of service. Do not think too much about it. Instead, repeat the following work your light activation. Okay, so find yourself in a grounded, comfortable seating position. And if you're driving, just ground yourself while being present while you're driving. And then hold your hand on your heart and repeat after me. I surrender to my awakening. I allow the Shakti energy to rise from the base of my spine. I open myself up to the universe using me in a way that delights my mind, body, and spirit. I feel like that was a mic drop moment right there. So, that being said, that's what I'm going to leave you with for this week. So, until we meet again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have an amazing week. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, will you do me a favor and help spread the love? Go ahead and leave a 5-star review and share this episode on your Insta stories. If we aren't yet connected on Instagram, come follow me at Leslie & Co XO. And since everybody spells my name wrong, that's Lesley & Co XO. And leave me a line and say hi. Have an amazing day, beautiful, and we'll catch you next week.